Bloggo's POW.
Right, I am at Low Def Al's place. I'm here. Play Gradius? No, not really. I'm here to look at this. Yes, that's right. It's a Sharp X68000. What a beast of a machine. That's pretty damn impressive. So we're going to go on a few games with this. We've got box full of floppies. And some nice software to look at as well. That Strider, New Zealand Story, Twin B. Oh, they're overtaken, never heard of that. These boxes are huge. I mean, to give you an idea of a comparison, there's an 8-bit though NES pad as a comparison, so those are really nice big boxes. So we're going to play some of this beast. I've not played one before. I've fiddled with one on an emulator, but let's see how this goes. Right, this being a computer which can supposedly push out arcade perfect conversions of certain games, I'm going to be pretty critical with this. That may seem harsh, but it is a holy grail machine and it costs a lot of money, so let's see how it does. So first off, we've got Final Fight. So obviously 3 characters selectable, 2-player mode as well. Now the Sharp X68000, the resolutions are a bit odd. Low Def Al had to do a lot of work to actually get to the point where we could capture this into his capture card. So the screen's a little squished, but that aside, this is a very accurate version of the game. Maybe runs a tad slower. The soundtrack's pretty spot on. All the bad guys appear to be there. It runs pretty well. I mean, if you're going to compare, it's probably at that point the best home version, at least until the Mega CD version came along a little bit later. All the blood's in there as well. Really minimal differences. It's an excellent conversion. Comes on 2 floppy disks. The loading isn't too intrusive. I mean, the X68000's got a lot of internal memory for a computer of its age. Let's slice up some guys. Okay, Jay, take that. Do I want the pipe? Do I want the pipe? No, I'll just smack him in the face. Time to get some food from a bin, on some tyres. That's a bit different. You get a samurai sword at this point in the game rather than the pipe. And we're going to meet Damned, or as it was called. It should be called. Oh, Sodom in this version, isn't he? No, that's the samurai dude. Well, here comes Low Def Al to help out as Hagar. Yeah, so Damned, or was he renamed Abigail in some versions? I can't remember. And Capcom in their stupid censorship. There's a knifey floaty man. Oh, and here comes Damned again. Oh, Hagar's really is playing the smackdown, or just got the smack down on him. Ah, right, I wonder if we're going to see Poison. Or Roxy. Or whichever it is that turns up on here. You can see in the arcade version, obviously, you can see Poison, Roxy, whoever she is. Yeah, complete the side boob and everything. Oh, there she is. There we go. maybe a bit less side boobage on him, I think. So there we have it. It's a pretty good version. So we're starting off very well. Excellent version of Final Fight. Well done. Okay, so next up, it's Flying Shark by Toplan. And initially this looks very good. It's dealing well with the fact that the arcade game's it's at a vertical orientated screen. Obviously you'd have those borders down the side, but it's very close to the arcade graphically. It's a little jerky in the scrolling, and as a result the control of the plane feels a little jerky as well. I don't know if that's down to any sort of input lag, but some of these other games haven't had any discernible lag to them, so I'm not entirely sure what's causing that. The enemies appear to be a lot more aggressive. Oh, okay, let's get a power up out of this red biplane. Lovely. And an extra bomb, useful for the boss at the end. Yeah, but it's a pretty good conversion. Pretty close to the original, even if the enemy tanks and boats and whatever are very trigger happy. I actually had a pretty good run on the arcade version a couple of weeks ago. I got stage 4 on one life, so I was pretty proud of, but I don't think I'm going to get that far with this. I'd say it's strange sort of jerkiness to the controls almost. But it's a good version of Flying Shark. Got Flying Shark not really converted to many consoles. It was the NES version, which I've covered before, and the Commodore 64 and Amiga versions. Oh, that's different. That bunker there, when you've destroyed the turrets, you should be able to blow the roof off it. With more tanks underneath. That's different. Okay, fair enough. Wonder why that's been missed out. Here comes the boss. Oh shit. Oh yeah, good version of Flying Shark. So, this is Gradius. Of course, it's well known that I love this game. I'm not going to play all the way through it. I probably could do. So we're just going to skip on through the first level and see how it compares. Everything's in its right place. No noticeable lag on this one, so that's quite good. It feels like it should do. All the enemy placement is in the right place, and I think I've just picked up too many speed ups. Oh shit, this is going to make things harder. Oh, yeah, it's going to make things a lot harder with 3 speed ups. 2 really is your maximum when you're playing this game. Makes it a little bit more manageable when you've got a full complement of options, but yeah, 3 speed ups is a bit of a death curse. I'm not sure how I'm going to do now. But since I'm only doing the first level for this video, I should be okay. He says, crossing all his fingers and all his toes. Yeah, good version. And probably the best version of it out there until the Saturn and PlayStation Greatest Deluxe Pack popped up in, when was that? 1996. So it was definitely the best home version of Gradius for a long time. Yeah, very good stuff. So, one of my favourite arcade games, obviously being Gradius, and this is Gradius 2, aka Vulcan Venture. So initially, this looks pretty good. Again, I'm getting a slight delay on the control and firing here. It's a little odd. But let's see how we do. Now, the X68000 having a joypad or at least a controller with only 2 buttons. Your missile and fire are mapped to the same button, and of course the other button is your weapon select. No leaning across the press spacebar on here. Well, that's a... oh, it's close. It's a little slow and jerky, but it's not bad. Maybe a little bit off. Well, a little bit off enough to put me off my game a bit, but I was never particularly good at Gradius 2 compared to Gradius. So I always found this first level of pain. It was almost random drag. Oh shit! Random dragons popping out. Right, so no weapons. Let's see how we do now. There we go, some more random dragony wagonies. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. It's not a bad conversion. Again, until the Saturn and PlayStation versions came out, this was probably top of the heap. Very good. I'm getting a... oh shit, shit! Jeez! Christ almighty. I'm going to be able to... no! Oh! Tell you what, the little bit slow down there was really useful. Don't think I'm going to be able to get rid of these 2 dragons. Oh! Oh, Jesus! Just... fuck! 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 Shit! Christ almighty. Yeah. Yeah, good version of the game. Again, it's got that little bit of weird slowdown to it, which makes it hard to play, but yeah, that's pretty good. Right, Nemesis 90. Now, this is a bit of a cheat because this is actually a conversion of an MSX Gradius game. It was exclusively on MSX, and this was like the update for the X68000. So it's not technically an arcade game, so I'm cheating a bit, but I really couldn't resist having a go. I did want to include it because it was something I did want to play for such a long time, being the massive Gradius fan that I am. And so far so good. The MSX version, if you've ever seen it, does suffer from some pretty awful scrolling. This, however, is working out pretty good so far. We'll see what happens when the background turns up. This was exclusively MSX, there's no other versions of this until this version turned up. Strange that it's been called Nemesis 90, not Gradius 90, so that's another bit of a weird... Konami being very strange with the naming conventions again, because being called Nemesis in the UK, in the arcades and on the home computers, Gradius everywhere else, it's a bit weird to have a Japanese only game referred to as Nemesis. And then again the Game Boy versions were as well, so again strange. I've no idea what the hell's going on with that. But this is good, I'm enjoying this. Oh, there's some weird Aztec spitty head thing. Yeah. Oh jeez. It's worth a go. If you find yourself down the shop and they're selling it off cheap, you know, pick it up. Pick up another shop 68000 while you're there, you know. It's going to be tight, isn't it? Yeah, a very good game. And we'll get back to normal arcade conversions in a second, shall we? Yeah. So, next up, New Zealand Story. We've been playing a lot of shooters and things, so let's have something a bit different. Tiki the Kiwi saving his friends from a giant walrus. Of course, why not? Now this has had a lot of good conversions over the years. The Amiga version, the Master System version, there's some really great games. Conversion, should I say, of New Zealand Story. And this is no exception. It plays very well, and I've just realised I've been using the auto fire button for jumps, which I couldn't jump up there, but now that's all fixed, we're fine. And we've got the bombs, so bomb, bomb, bomb. And before long... Oh, hurry up already? Bloody hell. Let's get to the chopper. I mean, the birdcage with the next Kiwi in it. There we go. Help me. You helped. Goal in. Right, so let's see how we do on the next level. One thing that I still can't get used to on anything aside from the home computer ports of New Zealand Story is obviously the Amiga, C64, whatever, you had to push up to jump, and that's the way I've always played New Zealand Story. When you get to the console versions and the arcade version and this version, you're pressing a button to jump, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. But when you're flying these little balloony things and you're pressing the jump button to fly up, you do stuff like that. Luckily I've spawned back with a balloon, so I should be able to get right down here to the end of the level nice and quickly. There we go, goal in. We'll have a quick run around on stage 3, which you do need to capture a magical flying mushroom. Oh, laser. Yes. Those flyboy teddy bears aren't going to have any chance against my laser death. Oh, it's run out. Is it? No, it's not that. This doesn't appear to suffer from any discernible lag either. It's very fast, scrolling's good, controls are responsive. Yeah, pretty happy with this. It's a good version of New Zealand Story. That goose was lucky, wasn't it? Yeah, highly recommended. Right, on to another favourite here. Here's R-Type. Looking good so far. Oh, actually, it's a little bit jerky there on the scrolling. Considering Gradius was pretty smooth, that's and the fire rates. Oh, it feels off. This feels very off. I don't know if it's something to do with the weird squished resolution I'm playing this in. Everything looks weird and slightly underdefined, and as a result, it is like Gradius 2, throwing me off my game a bit. I mean, I know this game inside out. Well, okay, I know the first 6 levels of this game inside out. But, yeah, this is... not quite feeling it, to be honest. It looks the part. I mean, if you saw this in a still and compared it to the arcade version, you'd say, well, that's pretty damn close. But in the playing, it's just not quite there. I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't feel right. It's something about the jerkiness of it. Not quite. The music's nearly there though. It's not bad. Not quite as whole as the arcade's soundtrack, but you know, it's a version of it. And oh fuck! Well, that doesn't normally happen. Oh, okay. Well, I'm finding myself now in a place where I'm going to have to get to the end of the boss, the end of stage boss, with hardly any weaponry on a version of R-Type I'm not really good proficient at. So I wonder if I'll actually get to the first boss. We're going to get pretty hairy. Oh, thank God, a force pod. There we go, first boss coming up. And I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there after the first boss. It gives you a good idea of how it compares to the arcade game, just by having them side by side. So again, with R-Type, I could probably be here all day playing it. Yeah, a bit disappointing. Okay, on with more Konami sideways scrolling goodness. This time it's Salamander. And I know I covered Salamander in the Commodore 64 video a couple of weeks ago, but I really couldn't ignore playing this version of it, which I'm already finding is actually pretty damn good. The Konami conversions by a whole appear to be devoid of the lag problems I've been experiencing so far. It's a little slower than the arcade, the music's pretty good. One thing I'll say is the arcade version, it slows down itself. So if you're seeing slow down, especially later on in levels, you're going to it's going to be part of the problem with the original arcade. Yeah, it's quite well known that the original arcade game has these slow down bits in it. Looks like it's 2 players as well. Yeah, pretty good so far. Enjoying that. I think what we'll do is we'll skip on a bit here, and here's the brain golem, just to see how this looks on the X68000. So far so good, that's looking excellent. Now moving on a bit, let's have a quick look at what the upward scrolling level. Level 2 here. Again, everything's in the right place. In fact, I would say possibly that the asteroid placement is almost identical. And the second boss as well, that looks pretty special too. That's excellent.
Go to the right.
Now moving on to the next sideways scrolling level. This is the fire level, and it'll be the last one I'm going to cover on this Salamander play. I'm going to see how the sharp machine deals with large balls of flame, or at least large arcs of flame. So let's have a look. Oh, the animation's a bit flickery on the flames up the top and down the bottom. That's a little bit off-putting. Again, I wonder if that's a resolution issue. Whoa, there we go. That is a big flame. Yeah, that's not bad. Aside from the flickering on the floor and ceiling, this is pretty good. Yeah, good version of Salamander, this. Again, probably the best version there was at the time. And yeah, I would have been very pleased with this if I played this back in the day, should I have been a very rich Japanese person and owned a Sharp X68000. Very good. Right, on to Capcom Strider. So again, there's a pretty demanding coin-op. Now, somebody did tell me at one point that the Sharp X68000 was used to program some of Capcom's CPS2 stuff, so that explains why Final Fight was good. Let's have a look at Strider. It's looking pretty good so far. Not accurate to the arcade. Music's okay, it's pretty close. Where we are, we're up here now. Oh, I'll go with that. Yeah, excellent. We'll slide under here. There we go, and then there's a big burly man down here. Hello. Commando dude. And he's gone. Watch out for the flames coming up the ceiling. And then up we go to the top of another tower in futuristic Moscow. Skipping on a bit. We're getting closer to the end of the boss here. Weird reflective thing, and quick down the hole. Shit. Santa Claus there with his gun. And on to the first boss. Oh my god! It's disappearing. Okay, it's not dealing well with that. It's flickering like a Master System. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Right, on to the Siberian level. Let's see how it deals with the giant metal gorilla. There it comes. There we go. It's flickering a bit. The arcade version, and let's just, for old time's sake, run down this hill. That's always good in Strider. We'll run down the hill. And lastly, another favourite, it's Space Harrier. So a very, very demanding coin-op for a 1980s computer. This runs pretty well. Definitely better than any of the Western home conversions. It's definitely pisses on the Amiga version, that's for sure. It's still probably on a par with the PC Engine version, I'd say, but that came out a little while later, I would believe. Music's, there's not enough channels to deal with the gunfire from your blaster and with all the music tracks at the same time by the sounds of things, but I will let them off that. Yeah, not a bad version here of Space Harrier. Not getting much lag on this one either, it's pretty playable. Here comes the dragon. Oh, let's get this dragon fight, there we go. Went on far too long, a little bit of loading there. One thing I'll say, the games on this thing load pretty fast considering they're running from 5¼ inch floppy disks. It's pretty good, and you can have 2 disks in at the same time. I believe they're double-sided drives as well, so that means that's 4 sides of gameplay each time you load something up, unless you're playing a game which has 16 disks or something. But yeah, getting aside from the point, this is a really nice version of Space Harrier. Again, at the time, I don't think it could have been equalled. It was very, very good. Thanks to LowDefAl for letting me have a go on his X68000. It's a great machine, no denying that. And the arcade versions, generally speaking, are pretty good. But are they worth the money? Comment below.
Subscribe or naff off!